All the knights and their wives are all having Christmas dinner. King Arthur is happy to see everyone laughing and having a good time. Unexpectedly, a giant green man on a horse entered the dining hall.
Who and where is the governor of this gathering? I would love to speak to him in person.
As the Green Knight looked around to find the man in charge, the men were in awestruck with no answer, but just glances exchanged from other guests. After a few seconds of silence, King Arthur spoke up.
Hello, good sir. I am King Arthur. We can talk when you join us for dinner.
Seriously, can we talk about this right now? I have heard how strong and superior your kingdom and army stand, your men well equipped with fierce armor, the mightiest of men in your army and the worthiest. All these things I've heard has brought me here today. Even though I have my spear and shield, I came to do no harm. Also, my attire is casual, just to ask a simple question. I did not come here to fight, but to show you what a real knight looks like. I challenge another man to play a Christmas game with me. I ask for a man who thinks of himself highly as a knight. If you dare to come forward and strike my neck, you will get one in return with the same axe.
The knights are still in shock of what the Green Knight asked for. Now the Green Knight is waiting for a brave knight to step up to show how worthy the men are.
Isn't this Arthur's house that have the bravest knights? Because all I see are little boys here. How strong do you feel for the challenge? You've won battles before. What's the problem now? There are so many men here at this table. Why just fear one?
The Green Knight finds it amusing how no one is up for the challenge.
It's silly that you asked this, but if that's what you insist, then here I am. Hand me the axe and let's get this done.
King Arthur grabs the axe from the Green Knight. The Green Knight then kneels before the king.
Excuse me, Lord. Let me be the one to do this bidding. I'm the boldest knight that has entered any battle. If I were to lose my life, I wouldn't be missed. This is silly for you to be in this situation, so hand over the bidding to me.
Sir Gawain expected the deed from the Green
If you
Knight.
do it right the first time, there won't be an issue when it comes to your turn.
I am Gawain, the knight, and will give you this blow, and I will return in 12 months for you to do the same.
Just for your courage that was intended for the king. In order to receive the blow, you will need to find me.
Where can I find you? Whatever, just tell me your name and I'll ask around.
This is awesome to hear. Nothing else is needed. To tell you the truth, after you give me this blow, I will tell you the information needed. Now grip your weapon and let's see your fighting style.
Gladly.
The Green Knight stood and slanted his head down to expose the flesh. His long locks went over his crown, showing the neck is ready to be cut off. Gawain then gripped his axe and swung for the Green Knight's neck. The axe severed right through the bone and blood went everywhere as his head bounced on the floor. But the Green Knight stayed still and quickly grabbed his head, and then sprung on his steed as blood dripped from his axe. With his head in his hand, he faced the head towards Gawain.
Be prepared to perform what you promised. Have faith when searching for me, my fine fellow. You're making an oath to your king to go in search of the Green Chapel to receive the stroke as you gave me. On the day of New Year's, your redemption is due. If you ask around, you will find me. So come, or else you will be called a coward accordingly.
The Green Knight then takes off on his steed. As he takes off, no man knows of where this knight lives or took off to. King Arthur was honored too, but also hurt. Along with this, he did not show it.
Don't be discouraged. The party still must go on. However, I am able to eat, feast, having seen a wonderful sight of you.
King Arthur then glances at Gawain.
Now, sir, please hang up your axe. You have done enough.
And in front of a black cloth above the self hung the axe boldly where all men will see how wonderful Gawain is. The king and Gawain were served double portions, leaving them partying till darkness. New Year has come again, and the 12 months have passed since the Green Knight first showed up at Arthur's castle. Sir Gawain enjoyed himself amongst the dinner party the king had set for him on All Saints' Day. Gathered with fellow knights and their ladies at the round table, as they reminisced how great Gawain is. After dinner, he addressed King Arthur.
Now, King Arthur, I must leave this castle and set forth seeking the gallant in green, for I accept his return blow. Thank you for this wonderful feast, king and kingsmen alike.
Gawain then set forth ready in his armor. He leaves the castle and begins to search for the Green Knight.
Have you ever heard of a knight in green?
I have not heard of thee. Gawain continues to search for the Green Knight. After receiving no help from the people, as he camps out for a night, he prays to God to help him on the search.
I beseech thee, Lord, and thee, Mary, motherless mother, so dear help me find what I seek.
He then comes across a castle physically described having a barbican and wonderfully white pinnacles across the towers of the castle. He then enters the premises and is approached by a silver porter.
Good sir, send a message to your high lord, asking that I may stay.
Yes, by St. Peter. You may lodge here as long as you would like. The silver porter then helped Sir Gawain off his horse and welcomed him into the castle.
Welcome to my castle, for I am the prince. What's mine is yours. Make yourself at home.
Thank you for your hospitality.
After hours of eating and playing a game, Sir Gawain, the lady, and the prince exchange kisses to go to bed. Back at the castle, Sir Gawain was found asleep as he heard his door open to find the lady had came in and snuck into his bed. Gawain was acting like he was still asleep, but he was debating on whether he should just wake up and ask her what she needs.
Good morning, Sir Gawain. You are really unsafe if I snuck in so easily into your bed. I might as well tie you up unless you would like a truce.
Good morning, happy lady. Tie me up, and I will then surrender quickly, which is a great way to go.
A real knight would kiss me.
The next day, the prince made an offer to Sir Gawain before he left.
Another night, for the Green Chapel is but 2 miles away from here.
Why, thank you, kind sir.
Sir Gawain is awake and asked his servant to go and get his clothes and armor. Also saddled his horse, the servant brought back 2 outfits, one which was rich in royalty, and the second was not of great value. Sir Gawain chose the casual outfit because he wanted to be seen honorable. Once Gringolet was all ready to ride, Gawain got on and thanked the caretaker.
I appreciate your helping hand with my steed.
He then gave the spur to Gringolet and they took off. As the gates opened, the prince blessed them as they went off.
Good day.
As they traveled close to the Green Knight's house, the servant stopped Gawain.
I have guided you this far, and we weren't very far from the place. I care too much about you. Please don't go through with this. Everyone who has faced the Green Knight has not made it out alive. Sir Gawain, please leave this grim man alone. Turn back on another road and go to the woods. In the name of God, please leave and don't look back. I will not tell anyone you fled.
I appreciate this offer. You are a very worthy man, and I'm sure you will keep this secret locked in your heart. But I cannot take this offer, for I will become a cowardly knight with no excuses to the Green Chapel. I will go to pay my debt, and whatever happens, it is for good.
I guess if you really mean it, you are the one to blame. If you chose death, I will no longer bother you. Here's your lance for your hand and your helmet. Take this road till you cross the cliff and arrive at the bottom of the ravine. You will then find the chapel with the Grim who guards it. I will now leave. Nothing can make me go down there. Also, I will not take another step into the forest as your servant.
The servant then hit the horse with the spur, leaving Gawain alone.
By God, I swear I will not weep or groan, as God will take care of me, and trust shall be shown.
He gave Gringolet the spur and went towards the ravine. He then got to the ravine. He searched for the chapel, but nothing was in sight, but jagged rocks and brush. Along the smooth surface barrel he changed his horse onto. He then left his steed in search of the chapel. He looked far and wide and only saw the light at each end of the ravine. But then he fell upon an old cavern, or an ancient, rugged, steep cliff. He could not make of it all right.
Oh God, is the Green Chapel this mound? Is this where Satan comes out from the darkness? Now, of course, this place is not where the Green Knight lives because it is overgrown and untouched. I believe the servant tricked me into coming here.
In the faint light before the dawn, the guest and the prince were getting ready to go off and hunt. The huntsmen unleashed their dogs into the woods, making the forest filled with hunters. When they came along the buck, the men would leave them alone because they would want a bigger rack as a treasure for next year. but they would go after the only.
Gawain, I hope God will protect. You are welcome to my home that I have given to you. The time taken for you to travel, this makes you a true man of your word. The deal we had between us in a 12-month period, you did your part, and now it's New Year's. I'll return the favor. Now it's just here on in this valley with no time to waste. Remove your helmet and bow before me to receive your deed with no disagreement with me like I did last time when you had your one strike.
No, when my soul created by God that it has a disagreement that I will willingly for you. You may strike me with one good strike and I will be able to stand with no resistance for the act. You have my word.
You are not Gawain. I know him well enough to know that if there was an army in front of him, he wouldn't be scared. Never knew a knight could be such a coward that you flinch of this axe when it hasn't even struck you. I never showed fear when you gave me a blow to the neck and even gave King Arthur compliments. Even when my head rolled to my feet, I never fled out of fear. But you show fear, and I wasn't even close to touching you. Now I'm a better man to be called here.
That I am still here for that deal, you have my word, that I'll be able to withstand your strike.
While the Green Knight is contemplating to attack Sir Gawain with the axe, that now he has a firm grip on it.
Now you all of a sudden have a big heart. To take this deal, you receive the blow. Even that you're one of the highest in King Arthur's knights, that your neck is now preserved. And now that you take advantage of this opportunity.
Hurry now, you threatened me already enough, so now do it already. It feels like you lost your self-confidence to do something about it.
As the Green Knight is in position to swing the axe upon Sir Gawain's neck, as the axe is driven into his neck, that barely the fat on the skin falls to the floor, with a small cut on his neck. After Sir Gawain notices the blood dripping from his neck to the snow, slowly steps up that he begins to hover his arm.
Stop. Don't you dare swing at me again with that axe that you've already done. You're part of the deal. If you like to do another strike that I have got yours, then I didn't fear it.
You have now paid your debt, and you are now free. I release all other things I have said before. If I were to have more energy, that one strike would have made you suffer more. Foolish of me to make a mistake. I was right about the knights in King Arthur's house. You have kept your trust in me.